Marine Corps Marathon. Take me. Did you do it once? How many times have you done it?
I've done it 3 times.
3 times.
I'm signed up for number 4 this year.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's the 50-year anniversary of the Marine Corps Marathon, 250th anniversary of the Navy and Marine Corps.
Wow.
So it's kind of a big year. I encourage everyone, if you're thinking about running a marathon, this is the year. Run Marine Corps Marathon. Yeah.
That's the one to do. Okay. Has the training evolved over time, or how are you training up for these things?
So when I ran the Marine Corps Marathon in 2007, actually my brother had called my dad 2 weeks prior to being killed. And he called my dad from Iraq and said, "Dad, I just signed up for the Marine Corps Marathon. Why don't you run it with me?" And my dad had previously run 2 or 3 times when he was, active duty in the Marine Corps. And my dad joked that he had all but hung up his marathon shoes. He was done running marathons. He's like, "But when your son calls from Iraq, you're like, all right, I guess I'm running the marathon." So my dad and Travis had signed up for the marathon. And after Travis was killed, it was about 2 weeks later, and we still had a ton of people showing up at our house. And my dad was sitting in the family room. There was a bunch of people there. My dad, it's like, well, what happens next, right? And my dad's like, well, I'm running the Marine Corps Marathon. I don't know. I know that's something I want to do to honor Travis. That was something we were going to do together. And I share in the book because it was almost like the scene from a movie where everybody in the room, and you think about people of all different abilities, and no one that I can even pinpoint that had ever run a marathon before were like, "I'm running it with you, Colonel." And they all started going around the room. And I'm just sitting there with my head down. And I realized that literally everybody in the room had committed to running the marathon. And then they were all looking at me. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to run a marathon. And I had no idea what that meant. I downloaded Hal Higdon's Couch to Marathon training program. And, the first day I got out there, I ran a mile. And that's what the training called for, 1 mile. And I ran that 1 mile and I thought I was going to die. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to run 26.2 miles. And that was in June 1st. I started my training that year. But running the Marine Corps Marathon for me was perhaps the most healing aspect of my grief journey that I can point to, because it forced me every single day to get up and have something that I had to get done. I knew no matter what, I could lie in bed for 12 hours or 23 hours out of the day. But for that 1 hour, I had to go out and run 5 miles or run 6 miles or whatever my plan called for. I ended up in Travis's Foot Locker that came back. His iPod was in there. And so I, took that iPod, I plugged it in my earphones, and I ran to all his music. And so that was super healing for me. And every day I was just like, I got to put one foot in front of the other. And that's what I did. And so it was a really emotional journey for me to hit that finish line in October of that year, along with 50 of our closest friends and family. And, my dad ended up running with, at the time, it was chips you put on your shoelaces. I don't know if you remember the races where you used to have to put the chips on. And my dad put he put his chip on one shoe and Travis's on the other. And because Travis had been registered. So he picked up his race packet. And as we were walking out, my dad said, "Shit, I don't know which one is my chip and which one is Travis's," because he wanted Travis to finish before him. And so when we look at the official race time, he had no clue which chip it was, but when he crossed the finish line, Travis beat my dad by 0.001 seconds. So Travis's chip crossed the finish line before my dad's. And so we, since that day in 2007, since that marathon, we have had a team every year. We're now one of the largest charity partners at the Marine Corps Marathon. Last year, we had over 300 people running with us. We're hoping for 500 this year. And yeah, I mean, that marathon was definitely the hardest. Emotionally, the hardest physically was in 2019 when I rucked the marathon with Jason McCarthy, the founder of Go Ruck. That was pretty tough.
Wow.
So I'm going to go back to just a nice brisk jog for this year, not put on the 20-pound rucksack.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's why I got the ruck. Okay, now I gotcha.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. A hint. What are there other people that are just walking it so that you're not like, if you're walking it with a ruck, are you part of a category, or are people like starting to leave, or are you beating people that are like jogging but going slower than?
Yeah, no, I mean, the Marine Corps Marathon, you have to run it in, you have to have sub 14-minute miles or they will pick you up.
Okay.
If you hit certain points, like there's a bus that picks you up.
Oh.
So like, yeah, the gauntlet is at mile 19. And that's the last checkpoint where like, and it is the saddest thing when you see that it's a school bus and you see these school buses and it's just people that didn't make it in time.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I rucked the Marine Corps Marathon in about 5.5 hours. So I beat a lot of people that were just running the Marine Corps Marathon. So, but it's super hard. It's definitely running a marathon is terrible for your body, but it's great for your mind, and it's great for you to be able to accomplish something that you didn't think you were capable of. And over the course of the last 15 years, the people that have run the Marine Corps Marathon with us, I can't tell you the countless amount of people that are like, I can never run a marathon. I'm like, no, but you can. And here's how you do it. And I'm telling you, I started from ground zero and I did it. If I can do it, you can do it. So, it's definitely more of a mental game than anything.
If you enjoyed that clip, watch the full episode here or another clip here.